Hey guys, so today I want to give you an update on my one and only citrus tree, which is my sugar Belle Mandarin. Now, before I begin, I want to talk about this particular cultivar and what makes it special. So, the Florida citrus industry has shrunk by a whopping 95% in the last few decades for a number of reasons, but primarily because of the terrible disease called citrus greening disease. Citrus greening is a bacterial infection transmitted by the tiny insect called the Asian citrus psyllid that causes leaf and fruit drop and eventually death. There is currently no cure for citrus greening. By 2010, greening affected the majority of groves in the state, and citrus production fell steadily to fewer than 18 million boxes in 2021. By the time Hurricane Irma struck in 2017, most groves were already severely weakened from greening. The storm caused roughly $760 million in damages and 30 to 70% crop loss. Just 5 years later, Hurricane Ian tore through the middle of the state, causing $247 million in damages to the citrus industry, which pretty much sealed the deal on Florida's citrus growing. California now produces 92% of all citrus in America. Shortly after I moved here, and before I knew all about this, I bought a Mineola tangelo tree from Lowe's and was super excited about it. But it soon got infested with the Asian citrus psyllid, which was extremely difficult to control, even with the harshest chemicals. The sucking insects themselves caused immediate damage, killing the new growth, and I could only assume that the tree would get infected with the greening disease. I gave the tree a couple years. It actually produced one green fruit, which is actually pretty good, but with the looming greening disease, I decided to cut it down and replace it with an easy-to-grow loquat tree. Now, a little over a year ago, I started reading about a relatively new citrus variety called the sugar Belle Mandarin. Sugar Belle is a patented cultivar of mandarin citrus developed by the University of Florida and is tolerant of citrus greening disease if it is properly planted and cared for. Tolerance of the disease does not mean that it doesn't get citrus greening. Rather, it means that this cultivar can get infected but still be healthy and productive. Sugar Belle is a cross between the popular clementine and the Mineola tangelo, also known as the honey bell, and the cultivar that I actually used to have in front of my house. I've never tried one, but its flavor has been described by some as deep and complex and off the charts for sweetness and flavor. Fruit begins to ripen in early November, which is on the earlier side for citrus, and the ripening period ranges from November to January. So all this together made me really want to get this tree, which is what I did a little over a year ago, back in January 2024. I bought this tree from So Exotic, and it was delivered as a nice size and looking nice and healthy. Actually, with a strong staple. Not bad. It's like... I planted it in the ground shortly after, over on the side of my yard. That in. A few months later, I decided I didn't want it there and ended up moving it over to the back of my yard, which is where it's at now. It has had some minor leaf damage from the psyllid, as well as the leaf miner, which is notable for loving citrus leaves, but I've controlled pretty much all insects by using some pesticides, and it's putting out lots of new growth and staying healthy. But check this out, after only a year after getting it, it's already holding on to two pretty nice sized fruits. I'm not sure if it will hold on to these until maturity, but it's a really awesome sign that it's gotten them in the first place. So yeah, it's looking really great, has a couple fruit on it, and I really have high hopes for this really promising tree. So I really recommend this tree. It was a little hard to find, but as I record this, So Exotic still has it in stock, so get them while you can. I'll keep updating this tree and the rest of my trees, so make sure you're subscribed, and thanks for watching.